Welcome to the Business of Apparel Podcast. This is the place to learn how to start and scale your own apparel brand and fill it with loyal customers for years to come. I'm your host, Rachel Erickson, owner and CEO of Unmarked Street, and I can't wait to share this episode with you. Welcome back to the Business of Apparel Podcast, where today I'm first going to ask you for a quick favor. And this is actually a favor for you too, kind of, because if you are not watching or listening to my Money Mondays episodes that actually happen every single Monday over on YouTube, we also share out little clips of it in different places, but the only place where you can really find the full episodes is on YouTube. It's not like the podcast here where we're also blasting out to all of the different audio devices. I want you to go over to our YouTube channel right now. We're at Business of Apparel. I know our website is The Business of Apparel. On YouTube, take out and we're at Business of Apparel on YouTube. I want you to go find me over there, and I want you to subscribe to our channel, please, because there is so much additional great information that we are sharing through Money Mondays. And this week is a great reason or a great example of why both of them really go hand in hand. And so if you're just listening to the podcast or you're subscribed over here and you're just tapping into the podcast, I want you to know that there is an additional series of videos that we put out every single week, and it just talks about finances. We talk about money. We talk about running a business as the CEO and the financial side of that. We are going to be getting into a lot more like high-level money topics throughout the remainder of 2025 and going into 2026. So if you have any topics that you want to learn on Monday, we'd love to also hear from you. Over on YouTube, also, we are doing the best that we possibly can to monitor all of our comments. We are trying to still engage with our community. So if you have questions or you have comments on any of the videos that are over there, please feel free to reach out to us. I'm not great about always staying on top of every single social media platform because it is me a lot of the times out there doing a lot of the outreach, doing a lot of the engagement. And there are definitely times where I can be really overwhelmed. If you don't hear back from me in a minute or in a little while, like, I'm not forgetting about you. It's just that there's a lot going on here at the Business of Apparel right now. Anyway, I want you to go over to YouTube and I want you to subscribe, and I want you to check out the Money Mondays that just came out a few days ago, because we started talking about Q4 and 2026 financial planning. And if you have not done that for your brand yet, it is time, my friend. You are actually probably a little bit late to the party. I will tell you that a lot of my mid-tier clients, like the big guys who have us coming in and like cleaning up processes and doing a lot of their product development work, are already through the majority of their 2026 budgets. They have every single forecast, every single prediction, every single number down in some sort of a spreadsheet for their business, and they know what their 2026 plan is. They know what they're spending on inventory. They know what they're spending on advertising. They know what they're putting into organic marketing. They know what they're spending on people. They know who they want to hire. They know what all of the different numbers are. And so I went into depth on that on Monday of how you should be looking at your different goals and plans for 2026, regardless of the size of your company. And then I also walked you through like how I do that and how I actually do 3 different financial plans based on, something really realistic, something that's a big goal plan, and then something that is a little bit kind of worst case scenarios so that you can have contingencies in place. So that's the reason I want you to go over to YouTube, check that out, subscribe. We are doing 2 brand new videos every single week. This podcast is one of them. If you ever wanted to watch me doing the podcast instead of listen to me doing the podcast, I'm doing that over here on YouTube. So hello, if you are watching me for the very first time. This week, we're going to expand on the Q4 discussion because it's not just about finances. When you start to get into Q4, especially in the fashion industry, and as we then start to plan for 2026. Now, one of the reasons that I really like to recommend that you start planning for Q4 now, well, there's 2 main reasons, but one of them is that a lot of us will choose over the next few months to kind of start to wean off of work a little bit, right? Like the holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving is soon. Christmas will be right after that. However you celebrate, maybe it's Hanukkah. There are a bunch of holidays that come up at the end of every single year. And coming from a corporate background, I know, and I've seen year after year after year, that things kind of wind down. People are taking a lot of vacation. People are spending time with family. The weather's starting to get a little bit colder. We're all drinking a little bit more. We're all having some more sweets. These are the kinds of things that a lot of people focus their last few months of the year on. is the holidays and celebrating and spending time with family and getting ready for the next year. So while things wind down, if you're one of those people who plans to kind of take some time off from your business during this holiday time, you're going to want to start planning right now so that you don't take time off and then you go into January of 2026 and you're like, oh shit, I didn't do any planning. What am I actually going to do for the next year? I did that in 2024, and I will say that it definitely affected the way that we handled 2024 because there was no plan in place until about mid-February. And while I was still a very new company and that was the first time I had made that mistake, it is definitely something that I learned from. And so we have been putting 2026 budgets and plans in place for about the last month, maybe even a little bit more. And so we are prepared for it to come around. I'm prepared to be able to take a little bit of downtime during the holidays, spend it with family, and not have to worry about what I'm going to be doing when the new year pops up because we've already got that plan on paper. The second reason that I really, really want you to start thinking about Q4 in 2026 now is because in the fashion industry in particular, and a lot of industries do this, but the holiday sales that come up for us in the fashion industry throughout November and December can be some of the biggest revenue months that you have on your books. And if you've been a business owner for a while, you probably are raising your hand or smiling going like, yeah, I know. Q4 is always the biggest for me. We have our sales, we do our discounts, we have the holidays coming up. People are gifting, people are buying extra goods, and we bank on this time of year to be really, really big for us. So on top of you maybe wanting to wind down and spend time with family over the holidays over the next couple of months, you are also going into the busiest time of your year over the next couple of months. So when you layer those two things on top of each other in Q4 as an apparel business owner, I want you to realize that if you don't spend September and October getting all your ducks in a row for the upcoming year, you're going to miss out on it. It's just going to be way too much for you to deal with in November and December. There's too much going on. So the aspect that I really want to focus on today, again, go back and listen to my Money Mondays episode that we just put out about how you want to plan your 2026 financials. That's something that you should be doing right now. The other thing that I really want you to put in place, if you haven't yet, and hopefully you already have, is your holiday sales plan. What kind of discounts are you going to be doing for Black Friday weekend, if any? Are you the type of brand who participates in Black Friday, Cyber Monday? I've been starting to see a bunch of different webinars and coaching sessions pop up trying to teach people in our industry exactly how to handle this monster weekend for our industry. Now, a few things for you to consider. If you are someone who is just starting out, maybe you're just designing and developing your first few styles, you don't think you're going to have inventory for Black Friday or Cyber Monday that whole weekend yet. I want you to know, number one, that you should still very much pay attention to what goes on this year during that weekend because it can help inform or give you some ideas of what you can do next year after you have hopefully launched. And so by observing what some of your competitors are doing, what other brands in your space are doing, you can start to gauge what some good ideas are for your brand in the coming years. Are you sick of being stuck on the sidelines of the apparel industry? And you just want to be put in the game? Then join our 100% free workshop, Secrets Behind Billion-Dollar Apparel Brands, and learn the strategies, tactics, and secrets used by the most successful companies in the world. We'll cover everything from setting your brand standards to big brand line planning and executive level processes. In this workshop, you're going to learn how to name your target customer, rationalize your line, calculate product margins, roll up your revenue, and see potential profits while figuring out how to build a unique calendar for your brand. You're going to learn that and so much more. Are you ready to take your apparel business to the next level? Sign up today and use code PODCAST for a 10% discount on the full Business of Apparel online course or any of our mini courses after the workshop. Visit www.thebusinessofapparel.com/secrets to register. Don't miss out. And so even if you're not ready to do those sales this year, it is really, really important for you to start paying attention now to what other brands are doing. I will tell you, we've seen some brands decide to launch key product from mid-October to early November in prep for Black Friday this year instead of actually launching everything on Black Friday. They'll then be offering some discounts over that weekend, but there are no major key product launches coming. Everything will already be out. It'll be ready to go. Inventory can start moving ahead of time. If people want to gift early or go shopping early, they're going to have it available. You need to decide at this point too, if you're going to be a discount and promotions brand at this time of year. We were just having this conversation a couple of weeks ago in our membership call where a couple people were asking about what to do in this Q4 period. Like, what are the kind of plans that I would be making for these types of sales? What are the kind of discounts that I would be offering? And we had a really good conversation about how if you are a promotional based brand during any of the time of the year, let's say you do a spring sale and a fall sale, or let's say you always discount your product for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, or let's say you always have a Christmas package that comes out and your gift boxes are always like half off. Whatever it is that you promo throughout the year, your customer is going to be trained to be prepared for that promo, right? Like they're going to get used to you doing your spring and your fall sale. And so they're going to come to you in droves, maybe during sale time, and the rest of your year might be a little bit quieter than it would have been if you were always a full price brand. Now, that's not to say that you should never do promos and you should never do discounts and that discounting on Black Friday, Cyber Monday is a terrible idea. I am definitely not saying that. I'm just saying that you as the owner have to make these decisions for your own brand based on how you want to be perceived in the world, right? Like my husband always loves to say that, Ferrari doesn't need to market. Ferrari doesn't need to do ads. Ferrari never needs to discount. Ferrari never has to do promotions. Ferrari doesn't even have to offer all of its products to every single customer that come through its store. It's Ferrari. You know it. If you want it and you can afford it, you're going to go get it. You don't need Ferrari to tell you to come in. We're going to have 50% off for Black Friday. Ferrari would never do that. And so if you want to position yourself as a luxury or a high premium brand like Ferrari is, you might not want to participate in discounts and promos around this time. One way that you can participate that's a little bit different is maybe thinking about launching a small collection or launching some key product during this time so that people are coming to your website while they're doing a bunch of other shopping and they're seeing new product or they're seeing something that is a really small collection. I only made 100 of these. We're going to stop selling them as soon as they sell out. They'll never be available ever again. That's another great way that you can leverage people's buying time during these holiday seasons. But it is a decision that you need to make and you need to make it early. And if you're going to be doing promos and if you're going to be offering discounts during these months, it is a really good idea for you to plan for that. Number one, I want you to put it on your financial plan. If you don't have a line plan yet, if you've been listening to me for this long now and you don't have a line plan yet, I want you to go over to thebusinessofapparel.com/gift and get your line plan right now. Because you need to be putting all of this information into a spreadsheet so that you can understand your margins. If you are not calculating discounts against your margins and you end up bleeding money every time you do discounts, that is going to tank your brand. So right now, I want you to go back to your line plan. I want you to consider the discounts and the promos that you want to do over the next few months in this holiday season. And I want you to crunch the numbers. It doesn't have to be difficult. It can be really simple. I just want you to take down, okay, this was my retail price. I typically sell this at $100. I'm going to offer 30% off during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So now that retail price is $70. What does that do to my margin? Does it erode it so badly that you are actually basically paying people to take those off of your books? If your margin lands anywhere at 25% or lower, you can't afford to do that. If you are at a 25% or lower margin, you cannot afford to offer that to your customer at that price. So then you need to adjust what your discount is going to be. You need to adjust what your promo is going to be. Look at your numbers now before you start to actually put those promos in place. And then there's a bunch of back-end tech work for you to really start looking at when it comes to offering coupons and discount codes. Have you set up your website? Let's say you're on Shopify. Do you have all of those Shopify coupon codes ready to go? Have you tested them? Do they work? These are all of the kinds of things that you want to be doing up front so that you can be ready for it and you can offer it on time to your customer base. The other key piece of this is, do you have the inventory on your books or in your warehouse to really support what you plan and hope to do in Q4 sales this year? Like I mentioned before, a lot of apparel brands see the majority or the highest percentage of their sales being made in Q4 because of all of these different sales and because of holiday shopping. If you are not prepared for that by having the inventory on your books for people to come and buy more than usual, that is going to be a really key learning for you this year. So let's say you've ordered your typical 200 units of a best-selling item that you have in your assortment, and you are not preparing yourself by ordering 500 units or 1,000 units or however many units you actually predict you'll be able to sell during this holiday period with your promos, with your discounts, or by bringing people to the website with that newness, right? Like people get really excited about newness on your website. You've brought them there while they're there looking at all of the new products that you've just launched for holiday. They're also going to check out your core products. And if you don't have enough of them in stock, you are going to frustrate your customers. So the other big aspect of this, and this is something, if you haven't already done this year, you may have already missed the boat. And so this is something to consider for next year then, right? I want you to take your learnings from this year, whatever ends up happening during the holiday sales period. I want you to take those learnings and I want you to apply them to your plan early as you can in 2026. So that when you know, okay, I ordered 200, how many people can you count on your website? How many people actually came to that page, tried to click on something, but couldn't because it was on back order or because it was out of stock now? Can you count that up? Can you poll your customers? How much more would they have bought if it had been available? How can you get that information into your company so that next season you're preparing your manufacturer and you're actually ordering more inventory on time so that it's hitting your warehouse or it's in your books in October? Late October is really ideal so that it's ready to go. You've already gone through, if you need to do any quality checks, you've already sorted through it. You've got all of your warehouse is totally prepared to get ready for those holiday sales to start coming in. And even bigger, a step backward from that is to start forecasting those bigger numbers to your manufacturer. So let's say we go through the holiday season this year. 2025 is closing. You are able to read your data and that 200 units that you ordered ended up being short. You sold out of them. And you ended up finding and being able to figure out that you could have sold 500 units. I want you as soon as possible to let your manufacturer know, probably in January of 2026, that come June of 2026, we're going to be placing a purchase order for a larger amount than we typically do. We are no longer going to place an order for 200. At that point in 2026, we're actually going to place an order for 500 units because that's what we think we could have sold. That forecast is going to help them prepare a production line for you that is going to be able to manufacture more than they are used to manufacturing for you. The more that you can prepare your entire supply chain for all of that extra inventory that you are going to need, the more prepared you are going to be, the more prepared they are going to be, the better costing you are going to get because nothing is going to be rushed, nothing is going to be urgent, nothing's going to need to be airshipped. You are going to be in a plan that absolutely works. And so if you can tell your fabric mill, if you can tell your trim suppliers, if you can tell your manufacturer that all of these goods are going to be needed in larger quantities as early as possible, they can prepare that for you. And then come this time next year, you have all of that coming into your warehouse. It's ready to go. You're ready for your sales. There's a lot of planning that needs to happen in your apparel business. And this is a really great example of how you can take customer data and apply it immediately to have a better year in 2026. So my question for you is, are you ready for Q4? Are you ready for 2026? Before you know it, it is going to be here. It is going to be 2026 before we know it. These next 3 months are going to blow by. I promise you, 2025 has already gone by so fast, at least for me. So I know that we are just going to get through these next 3 months. It always happens this way. Q4 always goes so fast. We are so busy, but we are also trying to relax and unwind and get ready for the upcoming year. So I wish you the best in your Q4 planning and in your 2026 planning. If you have questions for me, please put them in the comments below. And make sure, again, to go back and also listen to our Money Mondays episode where we talk all about planning your finances for 2026 and how to get that done. If you liked this episode and it was helpful to you, please share it with someone who also could benefit from listening to it. Thanks for leaving us reviews if you get the time to do so, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Business of Apparel podcast. I would so appreciate hearing your thoughts on the show, and if you know someone who could benefit from it, please share it with them. My biggest desire is to help other apparel professionals understand the nuances of our industry so we can all work toward making better product for a better world. If you would like to connect further, I'd love to invite you to send me a message through my website, thebusinessofapparel.com, where I do weekly trainings through my YouTube video channel, a weekly newsletter, blog articles, and so many more resources to help you start and scale a profitable apparel brand. This podcast is produced by Box 7 Media, who I cannot speak highly enough of. If you're looking to start your own podcast, you can reach out to Jeremy at Box 7 Media on LinkedIn anytime.